What is up, everybody? Today, I'm going to be playing a simple game. I just wanted to kind of play something chill today, and that's what I've got here. This game is called Ages of Conflict World War Simulator. Basically, think of it like a battle royale simulation, I guess. You basically have a bunch of nations, and they fight it out, and whoever's the last one standing is the winner, I guess. There's all sorts of other stuff, though. There's like revolts, alliances, puppets, a few other things. We'll see who wins. This has how many? 167 nations. That's not every nation, but it's quite a few. We're going to leave looping map on. We're going to wars on, of course. Winner takes all. I'll leave that off. We'll make combat efficiency random. We'll have alliances. You can create or leave alliances. We'll bump this up to 3. I'm gonna leave revolts off. Gain court. Oh, I've never seen this before. I'm gonna have revolts off though, because we want to see who is the last one standing. If we have revolts going on, it could last a very, very long time, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you want to like have a long-running simulation, it's like the perfect thing. But otherwise, I'm just gonna leave it off. We'll turn puppets on. Land seizing. I'll turn puppet revolts on. We'll have core purchases, donations, unifications. Basically, when a unification happens, anyone who's in an alliance long enough can potentially join one of the other nations, and if it's the end of the game and everyone's in an alliance, they will eventually just combine into one. And then raising, I'm going to leave off because you can, if a capital gets conquered, they could potentially survive and just put a capital on another one of their cities. I just want them to be obliterated when they lose. And without further ado, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. And immediately, I'm already noticing the DR of the Congo, the Democratic Republic, has very weird borders, I feel like. It's very weird that, like, Angola is kind of cut in half here. It's gonna be very tough to keep track of what's all going on, because there are so many nations. All of these, there's a lot of islands here, up here, lots of European nations. If I zoom in, you can't even necessarily read all of the text there. There's also quite a bit here. Quite a bit here. What's something interesting to point out here? Maybe the fact that North Korea and South Korea, despite the whole world erupting into warfare, has not done a single thing. They're not at peace, but they're not in alliance, of course, but they haven't actually done much. And unrealistically, North Korea has a has a better economy than South Korea. That is not at all the case in real life. Oman here is barely hanging on to life. Despite that, though, they do have more money than who's attacking them, which is Saudi Arabia. Going over to North America, it's honestly been kind of peaceful, to be honest. Not a whole lot going on until you get to South America, and even then, Bolivia is taking over Peru. They actually did it. They took over Peru, and Ecuador just became a puppet of Bolivia. So if we click on here, we get the diplomatic view. The light purple stands for puppets. The dark purple stands for the puppet's owner. So Ecuador now has to give Bolivia some money. They're essentially just tied to them. Bolivia can take territory from Ecuador whenever they want. And, I mean, they have the chance to revolt, but they are not in a good situation right now. Take a look at Africa here. Chad still looks like the Chad face. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize. So, Western Sahara isn't recognized as an official country in a lot of places, but they did put it here. And it looks like they've built an alliance with Mauritania. I think that's how you say that. I've always had issues with that, though. And Mali. Obviously, they're not allied with Morocco. I feel like Sudan and South Sudan are very far to the right here. I guess that's how it is in real life. I'm interested to see if damn, Lesotho, I don't think that's how you say that, and Jesus, Eswatini. I'm interested to see if they do anything. Lesotho has allied with South Africa. Eswatini has not. Madagascar is trying to defend themselves from the invasion coming from the East African coast. It's Mozambique here. Coming over to Oceania. So a few of the islands here are their own nation. Australia hasn't really done too much. The issue is Australia and a few other nations, they do have the ability to cross over the ocean if they really wanted to and get to other places. However, they have to really fight their way, because this territory, even though it's in the middle of the ocean, they technically have ownership of the area, so they have to really fight each other over the waters before they can get onto land. Timor is allied with Indonesia and Cambodia. It looks like Philippines has become a puppet of Indonesia. Timor made a good choice becoming allies up here with these people. Australia, unfortunately, is a pretty big threat right now. Timor is not very big, and Australia has a lot of money to work with, so if they were even able to fight for a long time, Timor is not in a good situation for that. Bangladesh is hanging on for dear life here. They might actually... Oh, would you look at that? They are exploding now. India's in a really bad situation. If they do not turn things around... Okay, they managed to kind of stall things. I don't see Ukraine here. I think Romania... no, it wasn't Romania. Who in the world took over Ukraine? Oh, wait, no? I have no idea who took out Ukraine. Literally no idea. It's like as if it never existed. That's odd. I literally don't know who. There is a little history thing here if I open this up. Oh, I can search? Okay, I kind of want to see what happened, to be honest. Ukraine declared war on Belarus, and they were conquered by Belarus. Yikes, they didn't last too... Oh, I guess I just didn't see it. Yeah, they didn't last too long, did they? Looks like Japan has actually become an... Are they a puppet? No. They're just similarly colored. They're an ally with China and Mongolia. They're all fighting against Russia here. Russia appears to be... No, it's actually the United States that's actually the biggest by area. Oh, now it's Russia. Okay. They're very close. Another little thing. This is a bit off topic. I've been kind of learning my mic more, and I have discovered that there are ways to really ways to make yourself sound better. There's like compression. I already had sound cancellation or background noise suppression on, but I didn't realize you could actually have compression on, and it really makes it to where if you're talking like quiet like this, it can really pick up. But if you're also talking really loudly, it should hopefully not burst the eardrums of your viewers, and I'm hoping I've adjusted it right. I've kind of messed around with it. Hopefully, my last video, I can't remember, it was kind of the Happy Wheels one too, but it's mainly the Baldy one where I kind of got a little loud, and it was a little noticeable, and I kind of want to do something about that, and it turns out you can actually do something about that. Is it Mauritania or Mauritania? Western Sahara was not the one that took out Morocco, that was Algeria, but they have kind of encroached onto that previous territory since. Algeria has made gains not only in Africa, but they have also made gains in Europe. And there's a lot of nations here that do not seem to exist anymore. Spain is gone, Portugal's gone, France is gone, Germany's gone. I noticed here that the little bit of random area that Russia seems to own in Europe has kind of exploded. They actually now own Warsaw, which is kind of interesting. Had they not had the upper hand when they went to war with whoever it was surrounding them, that area probably would have gotten conquered really quickly, but surprisingly, they've actually managed to hang on to that. Austria just disappeared, I think that's what that was. And it is kind of a mess, I cannot lie. It is kind of a mess. We have 57 nations left. Is Bangladesh... Oh, Bangladesh is now a puppet of China. They are revolting. They're kind of battling it out now. The reason why they can't fight over the mountains is because the mountains are just simply too tall. It's like a wall. If you've noticed, like, these different kind of colors inside over the map in general, if I turn this... Oh, there's not really a way for me to view that. Basically, it's different, like, types of terrain. Interestingly enough, China owns this little area here. This is actually, like, true. However, Bangladesh has managed to expand quite a bit. It's kind of cut off the area that China would have normally, though they still let them have this extra piece of land off that bit of sort of island here. Was Taiwan? Taiwan was a country in here, but China wasted no time getting that, at least I don't think. India's kind of been split off here. Iran is kind of scary as they are growing. They're kind of overtaking Saudi Arabia right now. They're at equal strength, so it's kind of a stalemate right now. We have a weird shape here with Belarus. It's gonna get shaped even more by Russia as they are trying to pour their way into Europe. We have Estonia up here. Surprisingly, they've managed to outlast the absolute devastation that has become Europe now. But they're still here. The only nation they've defeated is Finland. They are allies with Belarus. That's going to really help them in trying to get Russia out of here. You know what? Russia, for some reason, made Warsaw their capital. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's going to make a big change. Russia was taken out by Belarus, and so that was a major power that is now gone. So who is the leader? The leader is the United States. I haven't even checked on the United States lately. They are allied with Greenland, which has kind of gone into the Scandinavia area. They're gonna, if they want to push further, they have to deal with Estonia. They might have to deal with Mongolia. Let's check the statistics here. China is in second place. They do have quite a lot of area, and Mongolia being not only nearly the same size, but them being allied is really going to help them out here. The United States seems to have already been making some progress into whatever you call this area. I know it was former Russia, and that they've been able to do that because the map can loop. So as you can see, this is Alaska here. They can literally just cross over into this bit of Asia, and that's how they've done that. Whoa, Romania really kind of blew up here. Romania had really good combat efficiency at the time there. They could have easily swallowed up Estonia, they just didn't choose to. Belarus and Estonia are still allied, I see. Looks like the United States have kind of poured their way into the Caribbean. They've also... They're making their journey into South America. They gotta get past Venezuela. They are allied with Brazil right now. Bolivia is honestly kind of the same shape as they were before. And interestingly enough, they decided to ally with Ecuador, which is kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Argentina and Chile have allied. You know, we can actually check all the alliances by doing this, so we kind of get an idea of who's on whose side. It looks like Oceania, for the most part, is allied. Indonesia and Timor are allied still. The biggest threats when it comes to allies seems to be, I'm gonna say, the United States and Greenland, this China and Mongolia alliance, and then I would also say probably this European Sahara one, where you've got Algeria, Romania, and Slovenia There aren't any puppets right now, okay. So things have kind of slowed down now. I will kind of take an overview of things, which I kind of already did, but I'll look over nations and I'm going to speed it up and we'll see how things go from there. But North America is actually kind of getting invaded right now by Venezuela. This was not what I was expecting. They're getting pushed back into mainland. And Brazil has also kind of taken its chance to go ahead and snatch some of these islands. Greenland is still here. It looks like not much has changed there, except they do have Iceland now as an ally, and Belarus was just conquered by Romania. Romania is still quite a large nation here, and they do have a pretty good alliance, but Estonia is really something that they gotta conquer if they want to make sure that themselves and their alliance can get full power and control over Europe. We have a small nation here that was even smaller. Azerbaijan, I think that's how you say it, but I'm not positive. They're allies with Iran. They're not really gonna do much right now because they're very small and completely surrounded by a bigger nation, but at least they're not gonna get conquered. They may end up joining Iran here because they can't do much right now. They may decide to do that. We have a random chunk of India between two of their allies. What is this? It's a random chunk of China. Mongolia and China are still allies, which I would say should be very concerning, considering the size of them. Cyprus, I didn't even notice this. Cyprus, oh, I didn't even notice this either. Iceland just defeated Romania. Saudi Arabia is very, very small now. Venezuela is still pushing into the United States. Bolivia, despite being quite large, is kind of got a long ways to go if they want to spread out into the other continents. Venezuela is in their way, so and then they have an ally below them, that's Argentina, so they really have no choice but to either cross the Pacific Ocean, try to get to the Oceania area, or they're gonna have to go into Africa, and I don't know, they might be able to do it, but Mauritania does have the advantage here, so they're gonna have to really push hard if they want to get into Africa. Alright, I'm gonna speed things up now. This random patch of India over here, I don't know how this got here, but it's since exploded a little bit. It's gonna remain separated, but it is there. There's only a few nations in Africa left. Surprisingly, the Western Sahara has managed to cling on to something here, and they haven't changed all that much, but as I say that, Algeria might just try to prove me wrong here and try to sweep in. They really kept their ground. They own all these islands over here, too. Zimbabwe is closing in on Tanzania. Saudi Arabia, despite being really shrunken from all the wars, they've kept the ground that they've had for a while now. They're trying so hard to push in Iran. They changed colors completely, and that is due to the fact that Iceland has surprisingly made Iran a puppet. Somehow the United States has managed to make Venezuela a puppet. That's really going to help things, as if they can try to take places like Florida, as well as some of these islands back from Venezuela. They can of course rebel. However, the favor is more in the United States here. This seems like a never-ending kind of stalemate between Tanzania and Zimbabwe. They can't seem to really make much ground here, can they? China has encroached quite a bit into Australia now. They have just taken Indonesia. I did just see that New Zealand declared war against... it was Argentina, now it's Bolivia. And it's kind of weird because they do own this little bit of the ocean here, however it's blocked off by China, so that's why it doesn't look like it's connected. Alright, I'm going to speed this up at max speed, because there's only like 19 nations left. We're getting towards the end here. Right now, I have my bets on either the United States or China. It's gonna come down to those two, I think. Anything can change. Oh wow, it's really looking like the United States now. They have made a big push into to Asia. They still have quite a lot to go, though. They have a lot of that mainland. They have to, of course, get through, like, Japan. China is massive now. China is still in second place. The United States is the largest nation here still. And on top of that, they have not one, but two nations under their alliance that are quite large. China only has... Well, China also has two nations that are under their alliance. However, they're not as big. And look how big the United States has gotten now. Argentina has become a puppet of the United States. Tanzania may just finally get conquered by Zimbabwe. I guess China... Did they eat up Mongolia? They did. Although the United States is making another massive push in Asia. They're trying to make it into Japan. Oh, also, Greenland has also made a massive push into China. Meanwhile, Argentina is getting even smaller and smaller because of the United States. I don't know how Tanzania is still here. They should not be here still. Somalia... Uh-oh. Okay, they are not allied anymore, so that's really gonna hurt them. I think... Oh man, I don't know how they're doing this. Every time it gets close... Oh, that might do it. Zimbabwe just made Tanzania a puppet. Somalia is gonna rush in here and try to finish the job. They are still here somehow. I don't know how. Tanzania is trying to make a comeback here. They keep getting pushed back. This might be it. Oh my gosh, it is somehow not. They're somehow still here. They don't have very much. They don't have very many. There it goes. There we go. I don't know how they survived for that long, but that was impressive. The United States, it's really the United States versus China here when it comes to the biggest battles. The United States is probably nearly twice the size of China. All the other nations, despite looking pretty sizable, are not very big. This is China right here. They have managed to make landfall into what is technically the United States here, just from South America. We are down to the final 10 nations. It looks like they're really trying to... Okay, they've gotten rid of the China that was in South America. That doesn't mean that China can't try to make landfall yet again. Zimbabwe is making massive pushes into the Sahara here. Algeria may be done here. They have no more money. And they are a puppet, which really sucks. They can't even pay their owner. And yeah, China took care of that. Zimbabwe is absolutely dominating Africa right now. Although, as I say that, they kind of did lose a bit of territory there, didn't they? Yeah, Mauritania is still here, surprisingly. Though I don't know for how long. That I do not know. Ooh, and United States just made Zimbabwe a puppet. That was actually massive, because Zimbabwe is the majority of Africa. So that was quite a big move. South Africa is going to try their best to defend themselves. I don't know how long they can really do that. Let's see how much money, who's the richest. And it's the United States by far. A lot of these smaller nations, when they're going to get attacked by these larger nations, it's an issue because they only have so much money to work with, while bigger nations like the United States or China can just keep throwing money and not even have to worry about it. Eventually they just know that even if they're losing, they're probably not going to lose enough territory for it to make a big difference, and then when that nation runs out of money, they can't fight, so the other nation, the richer nation, just takes over. There are only 5 nations left. A lot of them are puppets. And dang, it is... How is it storming all of a sudden? It was literally sunny when I started recording this. How long have I been recording for? Anyways, it's getting pretty laggy now. I guess the nations are so big. It just, man, it is chugging right now. It is also raining really heavily right now. You guys can't hear it. I doubt you can hear it, but it is loud. And I've got sound canceling headphones on too. The only nation here, okay, there's two nations. Oh my, okay, the frame rate is so bad. I literally have like almost no control when I try to zoom in or out. Is there a way I can do this a little better? I was trying to say though, South Africa has somehow managed to not become a puppet to any of these bigger nations after all this time. Mauritania was freed at one point, but they are now back into ownership of China. Oh, the frame rate's awful. I think I'm just... Oh man. I think I'm just gonna let this run... Hey. Okay, I think I'm just gonna let this run until essentially the end, until that or something significant happens. I would turn it into, where is it? Make them fight to the death. Oh, okay, Mauritania has united into the United States now. It is really just, it's just South Africa. That's the only other nation that isn't big here. And they're kind of fighting against the United States. I don't think they can really do it. But I could be wrong. Man, it's not just storming, it is like bad. Like, this is completely off topic. But like, I'm looking at my window, there's zero visibility, there are leaves going through the air, it's rain curtains. Oh, okay, South Africa. I don't know when this happened, but South Africa just got taken. Okay, well, would you look at that? South Africa got taken over by, I assume, the United States, and then it didn't take long for the United States to make China a puppet. It's only gonna be a matter of time before the United States takes the win here. So let me turn the puppet mode on here. Puppet view. They just seized New Zealand. There's only a few other areas that they can really take. I say that like there's not much. There's still the entire continent of Australia here, which they just took like a chunk of, like half. I imagine this is the final bit here. I imagine they're just gonna finish the deal and take the rest of China. There you go. The United States has won the Battle Royale of the whole world, basically. Of 168 nations, they came out as the winners. If you want to see more of this, let me know. If you want to see me do other simulations, of course, let me know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.